Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move the following private member's motion. Whereas there is a ministerial code of conduct in place from 2002 that governs the conduct of members of the cabinet, and whereas the Prime Minister did not inform the people of Jamaica that he was being investigated by the integrity...
Member, please.
I don't even need to hear another word. If the member in any way intends to go down a road that is, you can't understand if you don't listen. Permit yourself to use your ears and not your mouth. Permit yourself to use your ears and not only your mouth. If it is that the member intends to travel down a road that is going to breach the standing orders in raising matters, let me just say it before, that are sub judice. Hold on, I'm just telling you, that cannot be accommodated in this House. So if that is the route, if that is the intention, if that is the intention, stop now.
Member, you start on a premise, and as far as the standing order is concerned, I hear the first part of where you're going, and section 20, public business, 22, sorry, notion of motion, amendment and manner of giving notice, section 3. If the speaker is of the opinion that any notice of a motion which has been received by the clerk infringe the provisions of any standing order in any way out of order, he may direct that the member concerned be informed that the notice of motion is out of order, that the notice of motion be entered in the order paper with such alteration as he might direct. Member, I am saying, because there is, when I read from the Erskine May Parliamentary Practice, paragraph 2, page 333, matters awaiting judicial decisions, that the motion relates to a matter that is now before the court, and if it is, because there is a matter now under judicial consideration, it ought not to be discussed as it is sub judice. At this time, I am now ruling that this motion will not be entertained. Member, if the I just made the I am saying to you, member, if it has anything to do with the matter that I just spoke about, then I'm ruling it out of order. We are not going to entertain it.
Yes, thank you.
No, we don't have to hear it. And if I am going to stop you again if you go down that road.
Mr. Speaker, you've indicated this matter is sub judice. I'm not aware of that. However, what this motion engages is simply a matter of a breach of the ministerial code of conduct by the Prime Minister. That is not a matter.
Member, there's
Members, I'm not so sure why you're descending to such loud discussions. I believe. Go ahead, member.
Madam Speaker, I was trying to get the attention of the Speaker before they left. I'm not going to go to Mace yet because they have left. Is there a signed private member's motion before the House? No, is there a signed private member's motion before the House?
A private member's motion came during the sitting of the House.
Is it signed?
It was signed during the sitting of the House by the member making the motion.
But it was signed during the sitting of the House. But convention is, any such motion must be sent to the clerk of the House 2 days before. And this is what we have been doing all the while. And the gentleman across there, who is supposed to be the leader of that side, always mention every day, convention. And you want to breach that list today? You can't send resolution or nothing at all during the sitting of the House. The clerk ought to receive that 2 days ago. So it can't be entertained. I won't go to Maze yet. If it was signed before, then I'll go to the Maze where it's concerned. I won't. So it can't be entertained. As a matter of fact, we shouldn't discuss it. It must be ignored, Madam Speaker. It has not reached the rules, regulation is so. It shouldn't be discussed in the first place. It must be ignored. As the value that it is, it must be ignored. Don't reach it.
Member, in response, as you realize, we have, and myself particularly as Speaker, have repeated on many occasions that things need to get to the Parliament with adequate time so that we can read and we can ensure we follow the proper procedures. We were in fact notified by email that a motion would come, but it didn't come until just before I got to Parliament. And it does take some time to review and ensure that motions are properly laid. A signed copy of the motion came to me at the desk when Member Paulwell came to the desk during the sitting of the Parliament. And I just came out for a moment a while ago and I note the opposition walking out. I was coming back to tell them I'd gone out because I was just completing my review so that they could go ahead and debate if they so choose. However, even though they heard as much, they continued to walk out. Member Charles?
Madam Speaker, it is unfortunate that the opposition, and I say this with all seriousness, because Jamaica is watching us. It is so unfortunate that the opposition has chosen to walk out on this issue. The opposition is led by an attorney at law who is fully aware that there is no ambiguity in the rule of sub judice. It is a rule that is essential in preventing interference in legal proceedings and preventing the risk of undermining the fairness of any trial or any matter that is before the court being adjudicated. But what will happen is that they will use it as a tool to attempt to cause persons looking on to think that there is an effort to block the motion. And that is what is unfortunate, the continuous effort to manipulate the minds of Jamaican people. And what I find disgusting is the discussions around integrity by persons who are willing to break down the integrity of this court proceeding for their own pursuit of power. In the pursuit of power, they are willing to breach, destroy, and cast away the rules, the standing orders, the law, anything that has to be done. Tear down people, mash up the country's reputation, all because of the pursuit of power. And we stand here in this honorable house, this high place, elected to serve the people. Not to carry them over a cliff. Not to manipulate their minds. And I can tell you right now that they're downstairs. I don't even have to look because you can know the patterns. They are probably downstairs right now trying to utilize the media to make it appear that we don't want a motion. What we don't want is for you to interfere in court proceedings and cause the integrity of those proceedings to be damaged or destroyed. And the fact that the leader of the opposition, who is trained as counsel, is unable to understand that and chooses that to be the action of those he leads, speaks to Jamaica about how he would lead this country. All they want is headlines. But I'm going to tell you this, Madam Speaker. We are not going to allow the integrity of this House and the rules of which we abide to be inflicted, conflicted, or destroyed by their pursuit of headlines and power. It won't happen. If they wish to discuss this matter that is sub judice, do it on Hope Road. Old Hope Road. Do it in your yard. But if they do it in the Parliament, and if they're even doing it downstairs now, what it means is that they don't care about the system, the separation of powers, the judiciary. They have no respect for that. Because I can tell you they're downstairs now, I'm sure, trying to manipulate it, or will go to another place to try to do so. Jamaica must watch. Jamaica must make their assessment about those who are seeking to do what they try to do.
Madam Speaker, I'd just like to add, because it is quite clear that this motion that the Leader of the House was bringing was not appropriate, having come here, to the best of my understanding, as you say, Madam Speaker, when you were sitting, and as member from Southwest St. Catherine pointed out, the motion must come to the clerk for you, Madam Speaker, to be able to assess whether or not it is appropriate. And I think, Madam Speaker, it was deliberate that it came just at the time the House is about to sit, expecting that you would sign off, and so that you would not have the opportunity to see if the motion was appropriate. So the idea of they sending it by email and then bringing it to the House just about the time when the House is sit was to ambush you, Madam Speaker. And I say, Madam Speaker, it is quite clear they intended to do that so they can walk out for a headline. And that is all I think, Madam Speaker, they hope to achieve.